everyone, it's Decktionary07. Let's take a little break from Final Fantasy to play a brew I made when Cori-Steel Cutter was released, but didn't have time to play it then and make a video. But now I played a bunch of games with it, and it's so exciting that this deck feels so good. The Cori-Steel Cutter seems like right the thing that this deck was missing. It's making tokens each turn, getting haste, getting more damage through, and this deck already got the upgrade with Mox Opal unban. I tried some brews after the Mox Opal unban. It felt good, but it was missing a bit of mid-game and late game, and Cori-Steel Cutter gives just that, a better mid-game playing, going even wider. And as always, this deck can lose to some timely Pyroclasm or Wrath of the Skies, stuff like that, but it is very aggressive, and sometimes even like a turn 3 Wrath of the Skies will be too slow, and it has a grinding potential, and it can definitely rebuild. So if you have like a Bushwacker and Kudolta Rebirth in your hand, sometimes these two cards are enough to rebuild and finish your opponent, and the deck plays just very well. I'm very impressed, and the Cori-Steel Cutter give it like really just another dimension, and having like a slightly better mid-game means so much for a build like this. Okay, so we also got Barbarian Rings. Barbarian Rings were great for me over the course of the few leagues I played. So in this league I went 4-1, and I'm currently 4-0 in the second league. This just started testing this, and it really went well. Playing against slow matchups is so easy, but also I was able to win against popular decks in the meta. And let's go and see how the deck felt. I completely rearranged sideboard to beat some of the popular decks in the metagame. So we got Molten Rain to beat land decks like Amulet Titan and Eldrazi's, which are very popular at the moment. I got Destructive Revelry to beat Chalice of the Void decks. You really need to have this type of card, and it also deals 2 damage, and I often just bring in 2 of them against decks that play some amount of artifacts and enchantments. And the Gravedigger's Cage, because they stop Neoform. So it's also a graveyard hate. You just need to play this for 1 mana, and opponent can't win with the graveyard strategies unless they kill the Gravedigger's Cage. But also we don't have a good hate for Living End is making a little comeback. So if it really makes a comeback, I would then add keep maybe 2 or 3 cages, and then lose the Shrapnel Blast and lose like 1 or 2 cages and add some Soul Guide Lanterns or Tormod Scripts. Disruptor Flute, I played Eldrazi aggro a lot, and I really liked how good this card is. So it's sometimes locks a permanent you need to lock, but sometimes it just gives you enough time to win. Sometimes you just play this card, name a card that the opponent can't play, and it costs 3 more for them to play it, so it will delay them playing that card for a turn or 2, and often that is just enough for win. And I really liked how this card played there, so I choose to play this instead of Pitting Needle or some other similar options. Okay, that is it. Other than that, pretty simple. I got 7 Bushwackers. I got 7 of these Kudolta Rebirth type of cards, and I would actually definitely cut the Shrapnel Blast and add a 4th Rebirth. Okay, so this is what I would do after 2 leagues of experience. I would definitely cut Shrapnel Blast from graveyard and from the main deck, cut both of them, and either add Soul Guides instead of some Gravedigger's Cages, or maybe just add a different kind of removal. There are options like Rebel Salvo, for example, to kill Ketramos. There is Unholy Heat, because this is a DRC deck, and lot of options depending on your metagame, what you could and should not play. Okay, so that is all. Let's now go to the gameplay. Before that, let me remind you of my Decktionary profile. Down below is a link for my Decktionary, and I have a big announcement. The new Chocobo Zoo sideboard guide is done, and it will be soon uploaded here among these base tier guides in the matter of hours. So until tomorrow it should be online. Okay, it will be available in this base tier. Okay, so base tier is this, and the zoo tier is this one. So in the zoo tier I got 2 additional popular zoo guides, plus these extensive articles on zoo here. With more than 12,000 words on my thoughts on zoo archetype and its matchups and all play patterns. Okay, so that is it. Eldrazi aggro completely separate from zoo stuff. So this is not upgraded to zoo tier. This is completely separate tier. And this is also soon getting some upgrades. Got a small article like almost ready, like a difference between choosing Mycospawn or Writhing Chrysalis for the main deck. I will be adding like a small updated article with more thoughts on this, and some talk about potential upgrades to the list, which is still very good. I wouldn't change much. I prefer the list with 4 Writhing Chrysalis. Okay, so that is it. We can now go to the gameplay and see how it went, and it really went really strong. Okay, so match 1. I was playing against Zoo. Opponent starts with lay down the Guild Pact and plays Territorial Cow. Okay, I go for a Cori-Steel Cutter, Mishra Bubble, make a token. I can't attack into Cow, so I can just maybe block for a turn or something like that. Okay, I keep a Bubble on the field because I want to Gleeful Demolition it. So, okay, opponent plays Kavu, I block, I decide to jump. Maybe that wasn't a great decision. And yeah, but the big thing here was I was thinking about going for Shrapnel Blast or not going for Shrapnel Blast here. I decided to go. Unfortunately, my opponent had Spell Snare. I didn't see Spell Snare for some time played in Zoo. And yeah, I just played Galvanic Blast here to make a token, but this is not a great situation for me at the moment. Opponent attacking me for 10. And this time I decide not to block, and at this moment I'm going for a kill, but unfortunately my opponent has a Wear Tear as well, and yeah, nothing I can do here to stop them, so I just don't have enough. So yeah, that is it. Let's go check out game, I think maybe, not sure, game 2 or 3, whatever. Okay, so Destructive Revelry goes in. Shrapnel Blast actually went in this matchup because it helped me kill Kavu. Okay, so I got 2 Destructive Revelries, but this is a 1-lander hand and I can't really keep that. But here I keep this 6 lands, but not like the greatest hand, but kind of keepable. Okay, so I go for Channeler Bubble turn 1. This is decent start. I see Experimental Synthesizer on top. I like that a lot. Okay, so I crack the bubble and opponent plays a Survey Land. That is good for now. Okay, so I have option here to go for the Synthesizer, and I like that with DRC on the field, and I find a Gleeful Demolition from the top. That is a great find here, so I can go make those tokens immediately. Next turn I can potentially go for Cori-Steel Cutter plus Bushwacker. Okay, so here it is. I go for Mox Opal as well, and Reckless Bushwacker is on my top, so I put it in the graveyard, and my DRC gets Delirium, so I attack for 3. Opponent untaps. They don't have a Scion, luckily. And yeah, I can now play the Cori-Steel Cutter. That seems great. And I don't have a third artifact at the moment for Opal, but I can go Galvanic Blast this turn and then go Bushwacker next turn. But my opponent plays Orem Chant in response. That was unusual to play it now. But okay, so I play the Cori-Steel Cutter, opponent plays Leyline Binding on their turn, take my Cutter, bolt to the DRC and passes the turn with just 2 cards in their hand. So I go, yeah, this was Galvanic Blast, totally unnecessary. I thought for a second this is a Reckless Bushwacker, so I need to play a spell before I play it, but I brain farted. I did not need to play that Galvanic Blast, and that was actually a big mistake to play it there. Okay, so right now opponent finds the Scion combo, and luckily I find another land. That was exactly what I needed. So I attack with all my creatures, and one that was blocked with Scion, I just Barbarian Ring, kill it, prevent them from gaining life, and get in for lethal damage. Even if they have a removal, they still die. So that is game match 1 against Zoo. I was able to win this, so let's check out match 2. Now I was playing against Eldrazi. And yeah, opponent in this game 1, opponent started very good with turn 1 Chalice of the Void in blind against deck that only plays 1-drops. And they even had a Wayscape Battle Mage to kill my Cori-Steel Cutter. Okay, so this is a build from my Decktionary. Okay, so this is build from my Decktionary that plays the Battle Mage and the Chalice, the Gemstone Caverns and all these cards. So I'm very familiar with it, but I don't have much chance if my opponent had a remove. If they didn't have a removal for that Cori-Steel Cutter, I would probably have a decent chance here, but with a single Cori-Steel Cutter, I don't, and after even, especially after the Totnuts here, as a good blocker there, I won't be able to do much. Okay, so I concede that one, and here I have a very clean sideboard. Destructive Revelry, Molten Rains. These 8 cards go in when you're playing against basically any Eldrazi deck. So they all play Chalice of the Void mostly. They all play Trinisphere. You have to have like Destructive Revelry to get rid of them. And even if you don't need it for the Chalice, they will still play stuff like Utopia Sprawl, Talismans, and some other random sideboards from Karn sideboard, or so it's often just very useful here. Molten Rain is specifically for this matchup. So yeah, I'm now ready to start a game. Let's go. I should be much better after sideboard, and this deck should be very good against Eldrazi type of decks. Okay, so I go turn 1, play Chromatic Star, pass turn. Let's see what opponent does here. Okay, so I have Revelry, I have Molten Rain, I feel very good about this. And here is Goblin Bushwacker as well. I like that a lot. So first I go for Goblin Demolition, kill my Chromatic Star, make some Goblin tokens, draw a card. And yeah, I have another Bushwacker. This is actually pretty decent. I can crack a bubble here, and I see Scalding Tarn on top of my library, and I decide to keep it because I want to go Molten Rain next turn and just attack for 3. That seems very good. They play Chalice as expected, but I'm okay just playing Molten Rain this turn and then going Revelry plus Bushwacker next turn. This seems pretty good. I just yeah, this was amazing advantage in a situation like this where I just invalidate, I just completely don't care about their Chalice. But here opponent also has another Ugin Labyrinth, and they had 3 of their big lands, so they prevented me here for a double spelling this turn, going for the Goblin Bushwacker, but it's still fine. I have double Destructive Revelry, so actually I can go like Destructive Revelry there, Trinisphere, and then on my turn go Destructive Revelry on the Chalice plus Reckless Bushwacker. And even if I don't kill Chalice, I can still go Reckless Bushwacker. It's a 3 mana guy. So I go for the Revelry, they are also -2, and on my turn, second Revelry, they are again -2 down on 8, and maybe it was better here to go Bushwacker this turn if they go for another Chalice, but I think this is fine. So I go in for 8, they have to block something, and my opponent decides to basically block with both of their Flash Rakers. I did not expect that, but it makes sense. Okay, so opponent now has bunch of mana, 7 mana, even though I Molten Rained one of their lands, and luckily they did not play this guy, which is below the Eugene's Labyrinth, and they played Linebreaker instead. I can win against a Linebreaker. It will be much difficult to win, and yeah, the top deck here is insane. Experimental Synthesizer, 3 more tokens, and I also hit the Mishra Bubble, and now Goblin Bushwacker for lethal. This is so much damage, and I also got the Mishra Bubble in the process. Yeah, and that sealed the deal. That was the win. Okay, so what I often do, let me pause here. What I often do in this matchup, and actually what I often do while sideboarding, I often in these matchups where I don't need Galvanic Blast that much, they don't have, I just want a random, sometimes maybe keep 2 burn spells to finish a game and deal 4 damage face, and sometimes kill a Totnot Seer or a Mycospawn, whatever. But I think you can safely go -2 blasts or bolts in this matchup. I usually go -1 synthesizer, sometimes -2 if I really need slots. I often trim 1 Bushwacker, 1 Kuldolta Rebirth, and I often trim 1 Mox Opal. So these are like the cards I often trim in this matchup to make room for the sideboard cards, and the Molten Rains and Destructive Revelry are just too good in this matchup to not play them. Okay, so let's go check out the game 3. This should be great matchup for me. This is the reason why I even play this deck. I think that it has a great Eldrazi matchup. Okay, so I went for a Stomping Ground. I have Destructive Revelry here, so I will definitely need Stomping Grounds to cast my Revelry. Opponent again plays Chalice of the Void. I can't remember what I did here. I think like just going for Revelry makes sense, or even going for Cori-Steel Cutter makes some sense. But I think this is pretty good, like just going for a Revelry end of turn. And then playing Cori-Steel Cutter plus 1 mana spell on my turn. In meantime, I'm surveilling and keeping good stuff on top. Hopefully a 1 mana spell to for my Cori-Steel Cutter. Okay, opponent in response kills my DRC, makes some Eldrazi spawn tokens. And yeah, now I have to decide what to do here. I don't have much really great plays, but Molten Rain killing Eldrazi Temple, I think this is really good. And my opponent seemed that it seemed like they don't have another land, which is great news for me. And I finally played Cori-Steel Cutter, and I forgot to play Gleeful Demolition before combat. That was extra damage. Yeah. Okay, so hopefully I don't lose because of that. It would be ideal to draw another 0 mana artifact for the next turn, or just have some target for this Gleeful Demolition. So I can play both Demolition and Reckless Bushwacker. I was thinking about playing Kuldolta Rebirth next turn plus Bushwacker, but yeah, here it is, a Battle Mage, very good card for them. But still they're stuck on 5 mana, that is not a lot of mana. And here I have another Molten Rain, I kind of like that. So I want to, definitely want to attack their mana. So here goes Molten Rain or another land. They are -2 down to 11. And here is my Prowess Attacker trading with Battle Mage. So now I have 3 Goblin tokens left. And they will definitely be attacking. So let's see what my opponent does. They are stuck on 4 mana at the moment, but once they use the Eldrazi spawn tokens, they don't get that mana back. Okay, so opponent plays a Tot Knot and takes my Reckless Bushwacker. But yeah, I think I find a Galvanic Blast, and this was a good find because I have a Barbarian Ring active, so I can play go Barbarian Ring on Tot Knot, kill the Tot Knot, finish it. Yeah, I'm not sure if Lightning Bolt is better than Galvanic Blast in this deck. Sometimes I do 4 damage with Blast, sometimes it matters, but just often I do 2 damage as well, so I'm still thinking about that. You can see here I find lethal, but I still had Artifact plus Gleeful Demolition in my hand. Even if they did something like clear the board, I can still like go like Gleeful Demolition my Artifacts, make 3 tokens and draw a card. That is insane. This deck just keeps making pressure and the deck feels so good. Upgraded with a Cori-Steel Cutter, it's truly amazing. Okay, so this time I go Reguraly Channeler, Mox Opal, Surveil Galvanic Blast to the graveyard, and now I hoping for a second land, and here it is. So now second Channeler goes, and I was hoping to like play Kuldalta Rebirth on my Mox Opal, do the double Surveil, and immediately attack with my creature, making it a 3/3. But this is good enough, definitely. So I go for a Rebirth, and I see Chromatic Star on my top. This is great. I love how this is playing out. So I will have Chromatic Star from top and Gleeful Demolition. It draw a card, make 3 tokens, and make my DRC a 3/3 flyer. This is a lot of damage. Okay, so I go for Gleeful Demolition. I see another one in the yard. I think I don't want that. And here is a Reckless Bushwacker from the top. That is perfect. So that is perfect. I need another spell to trigger it. I have 8 0 mana spells in my deck, so hoping to hit one. In meantime, opponent plays Ketramos, but Ketramos is pretty bad for them at the moment. It can't block, so I don't mind them having this Ketramos. And now I trade with this Felia actually ate 3 of my goblins. Yeah, I'm just patient on Bushwacker and hoping to find another spell to Surge Plate next turn. So I just go for a Stomping Ground this turn and see what will my opponent do. They go for Emperor of the Bones, exile Solitude, trigger Felia, then trigger Felia again with Solitude and attack, gain more life. End of turn, trigger Ketra again, so they draw a bunch of cards, and I find that what I was looking for, it is a 3 mana artifact here, and this is a lot of damage, not lethal but very close, so I'm putting them down to 2 life, and I have Barbarian Ring for next turn. Let's see if my opponent can survive this. Okay, so I find another Bushwacker from the top. In meantime, opponent goes Overlord, digging for Solitude probably. And at the moment, opponent can't attack or block with Ketramos. They still can't block with it, and it's a big problem. They also can't really trigger it because they are on 1 life. But opponent finally finds what they were looking for. It's a Relic of Progenitus, and now they actually can crack Relic on my turn and make Ketramos into blocker. Sorry. Okay, so here it is. Opponent. I had Barbarian Ring. Opponent tried to crack Relic, but I had Barbarian Ring to finish them off. So that was a win. Okay, what do I need in this matchup? And I don't think I need much. I don't think I even need anything. So Destructive Reveille is a decent card which you can put in a lot of matchups, and it kills the Overlord, it kills the Relic. I think that is just enough targets to play couple. So I just trim 1 Shrapnel Blast and like 1 Galvanic. No, it was. I don't think it was Galvanic Blast. It was Galvanic Blast. Okay, so... Okay, no lens, can't keep this one. And I have Cori-Steel Cutter into Mishra Bubble turn 2, and potentially after turn 1 a Dragon Ray Channeler. It is possible I just make a Channeler into 3-3 on Delirium on turn 2, that is great, and I'm also getting a token. Seemed like a great plan, but my opponent plays a turn 1 Relic of Progenitus, so that won't work as imagined. Okay, so here I go for Stomping Ground because I need it for my Destructive Revelry. I boarded in a couple of them, if you remember. Opponent starts exiling cards with Relic because of their Ketramos. They want to be able to attack and block with it when they play it. So it seems like they're prioritizing that, which kind of tells me they maybe have Ketramos on the field. Okay, so Cori-Steel Cutter plus Mishra Bubble, and I'm keeping another Demolition on top. I can go Demolition, kill their Relic, that seems great, before they get to draw a bunch with their Ketramos. Okay, so now opponent goes for Ketramos and trigger it once again, but now they're tapped out. I have opportunity to kill a Relic before they can crack it and draw a card with it. So yeah, often these turns can go really crazy. I really wanted to kill their Relic, so I did not go Chromatic Star, Rebirth, hoping to draw something. I went for Bushwacker Graveyard because I wanted to get Delirium. Bushwacker would not be bad next turn, but I really wanted that Delirium, and as soon as I can. So yeah, I make another Monk token, put land in the graveyard, and now with Bubble that is enough for Delirium. And next turn I have a Rebirth plus a Galvanic Blast. I can trigger the Cori-Steel Cutter again. Opponent goes Solitude, my DRC passes the turn. And their Ketramos still can't attack, but now they find a second Relic, and yeah, now Ketramos is a problem. But also they are low on life and they decided to crack their Relic. That means -4 life, so Ketramos is now attacker and blocker here, but they lost quite a bit of life and they're down on 7, so I still have good chance here to try to do something. Let's see what happens. I start with I started with Synthesizer, I guess. So I go for Synthesizer. Now Mox Opal can give me another mana, and I hit a land from Synthesizer. This was actually a good hit. Okay, so I think next is go Kudolta Rebirth. First Opal, I can take mana with Opal. I'm hoping to hit a Bushwacker, of course. So I play Rebirth. I need to sack my Chromatic Star, or did I sack a Synthesizer? Yeah. Sacked the Synthesizer, hit Barbarian Ring, and now I can crack Chromatic Star. Try to draw more stuff. Okay, so I go for Galvanic Blast. I grow my Monk tokens, and I crack a star. Now I'm trying to find another spell so they can't kill my token when they block it. And I find another spell. This is a Synthesizer, and Synthesizer makes my token really large. So now they have to have one removal to survive this attack, and they also don't kill my token after blocking it. That is relevant. Okay, I exiled 2 lands. I don't care too much about them. I have Barbarian Ring on the field. I can sacrifice my Synthesizer if needed. Opponent had to pitch cast Solitude there to survive, and they go down to 1. So they can draw a card with Ketramos on their turn. They have to attack. Attacking here is definitely seems like they have another Ketramos, or they had Flicker Wisp. that is option as well. So they gain some life and flicker the Catramos. I will need something, and this is definitely something. Goblin Bushwacker, great here, and I can go for Bushwacker and attack with everything. I had to count damage before attacking, and this is exactly lethal. If my opponent doesn't have Fatal Push, this is exactly lethal, and I got the win. Yeah, this was a 4th match of this league, and let's now check out the last match. This deck is just so exciting, always looking for lethal, and I had some crazy games. I posted on my ex Twitter a screenshot when I had 37 damage on turn 4. That was a crazy screenshot, and there will be another video with this deck next week, as I'm currently 4-0 in the new league with this deck, playing for trophy, hoping to get that trophy. Okay, so now I'm playing against Dimir Frog. I think this is interesting matchup. See how game will go here. I kept like a really medium hand, but I did go like turn 1 Kuldoltari Bird, so that's not that bad. And okay, so I don't have much options. I think like going Bushwacker and attack here is best I can do. Hoping to maybe hit some artifact next turn to make more tokens. The opponent will of course block one of my creatures, but 6 damage goes through. I'm happy with that. Okay, there goes Psychic Frog for attack, and they attack with both and flipped their Tamio, cracking the Clue token. And the flipped Tamio is a kind of pretty bad. It's a big problem, but at least I can attack with Cori-Steel Cutter token, but it makes my Goblin tokens useless. It's not that easy to flip Tamio against this deck, but yeah, here opponent did it and I was in a problem. But I attacked them down to 7, and I'm hoping for a Bushwacker. I have a lot of creatures here, hoping for a Bushwacker. They play another Tamio, and yeah, I go Channeler, then go Gleeful Demolition, their Clue, just to like trigger the Cori-Steel Cutter. No other, really no other reasons. So I trigger the Cori-Steel Cutter, and I still have mana to equip the Dragonray Channeler. That was my plan. So I equip the Channeler and I go in for 3 damage. That's something. So a top deck Bushwacker would potentially bring me back into the game and give me some outs, but opponent has a lot of cards in hand, and they also have a removal for the Dragonray Channeler, and their Tamio is on 8, so this is kind of my last chance, and I actually draw the Bushwacker, but they have 2 attackers, and I'm even if they don't have anything, I'm 1 damage short. So yeah, that didn't do it, and opponent also had a counter spell. So that was a win for the opponent. Let's check out how the next game went. And what did I sideboard? I think for this matchup, I only sideboarded Disruptor Flute. Disruptor Flute locks Frog, and Frog is kind of the biggest problem for me in this matchup. And it locks the Frog, it locks the Tamio as well. The Tamio was the reason I lost right now. So it locks 2 of their biggest threats, and also sometimes you can just play it on other spell you don't want to see played, so they have to pay 3 more to cast that. That can potentially be useful in a deck like this. Okay, this is a 1-lander. But I think this is a type of a keepable 1-lander, because I have Demolition on a Chromatic Star to draw a card. Then after that I also have a Synthesizer. I think this is fine. Okay, so I go for crack, and I hit a land. That was a great hit. I play a Chromatic Star, and if I draw a land here, I can go Gleeful Demolition, Chromatic Star into Goblin Bushwacker, which is just absolutely crazy. Crazy turn 3. Opponent has Totsies, but yeah, let's see what they take. They take Gleeful Demolition. That makes sense, but I think Goblin Bushwacker was maybe better option here. So I decide to crack Star first and go for Synthesizer. I hit a land with Synthesizer, and then I go for Bushwacker. Bushwacker here hitting for, they had Stern Scolding, so I only hit them for 3. But I feel like I'm in a good situation. I have 3 tokens on the field, Synthesizer on the field, Synthesizer in hand, and a lot of good stuff I can hit. And my opponent plays Murktide. This is a strong blocker. Okay, so I start this turn sacrificing Synthesizer on Rebirth, making 3 more tokens, getting a land from the top, looking for another Bushwacker, of course. And I did not find a Bushwacker, but I did find a more experimental synthesizers. So I'm digging more. And here is Disruptor Flute. I can't play it this turn. Also, my opponent plays Engineered Explosives. I can Disruptor Flute their explosives. So it's good to know for game 3. And I didn't attack this turn. I only had 3 attackers, so I wait for a better situation. And my opponent attacks with Murktides. I'm okay with that. Don't mind that, definitely. Opens up some options, more options for me. I don't want to crack fetch here or use mana with Barbarian Ring unless it's for kill, because I'm on 7 and my opponent has a 6/6 Murktide there. Okay, so I go for the Goblin Bushwacker, and my opponent did not have a way to deal with it, so I get the win just by casting the Bushwacker. I guess opponent didn't count on that. Yeah, okay, so I keep a medium hand here for game 3. And the third Bushwacker is not what I needed here. I want to hit something decent with Synthesizer, so I did not play that on turn 1. I play this on turn 2 so I can use it better. I try to find something good with it. And here is maybe the best hit, the Gleeful Demolition. So I immediately make 3 tokens here and pass the turn. So these Bushwackers are now looking much better. Okay, so another Synthesizer is exiled, but that doesn't really matter. Okay, so I decide to try to be as aggressive as possible, save my tokens and let them draw here. Opponent goes for a couple of damage with Frog, then plays the land and goes down 3 life and goes for Toxic Deluge, killing my tokens, unfortunately. Okay, again I start the turn with Synthesizer, and again, same as the turn before, I hit Demolition and with it, so another trigger, I hit Opal, play my land, and I'm seeing my top before I crack a fetch. I see DRC on top, I like that a lot, so I draw the DRC, pass the turn, and this time I think I'll block. So at this time I will block. I have a Channeler plus Bushwacker next turn. I think that is pretty solid. Opponent, what are they? They are trying to play Murktide or Oculus. Okay, seems like Murktide, but it's only a 4/4. It's not a really big Murktide. Okay, so I find a land for a turn, get another mountain. I start the turn with a Channeler and yeah, go for a Reckless Bushwacker here. Give a haste to everything I have and just go for attack. If my opponent blocks, I can finish their Murktide with a Galvanic Blast. but since they blocked the channeler here, I just went Galvanic Blast face. My channeler automatically becomes 4-3, so it trades with Murktide. Yeah, that was a good trade. That was a good trade, and I went for some damage. Opponent is now on 8, and I have a double Bushwacker for a next turn. I'm betting my opponent is not expecting that. And also here is the Gleeful Demolition. That's even better than double Bushwacker. So I go for Gleeful Demolition, then go for a Bushwacker. My opponent has Stern Scolding, but I went too wide here for my opponent. Tried to fatal push my Reckless Bushwacker, and that did not work. They should have targeted the token, but it wouldn't matter. I would still have a lethal anyways. Opponent attacks me, and yeah, that's it. They were trying to find maybe Toxic Deluge to get out of that situation, but they were not able to do this, and this is a 4-1 league with Mono Red Kudolta Rebirth. I like this deck a lot, really a lot. It was so fun to play and had some powerful turns, and in this second league I'm playing right now, I'm currently 4-0 in. It feels even better. Okay, so Shrapnel Blasts, I think I would remove that, and I would maybe add a couple of Soul Guide Lanterns, just like 2 Soul Guide Lanterns or 2 Tormod Crypt, and still have 3 Gravedigger's Cage for the Neo-4 matchup. Also, Disruptor Flute can be useful in the Neo-4 matchup as well, so you have like a decent package here to fight that archetype as well. I think these are the most important cards, the Molten Rains and the Destructive Revelries. Everything else is negotiable, and I really like how this deck is playing out, and it seems great. What I'm thinking about replacing in this deck is a Lightning Bolt instead of Galvanic Blast. Not sure though, because sometimes Galvanic Blast did deal 4 damage. It was maybe relevant, but also a lot of times I just went turn 3 like Cutter, Galvanic Blast face for 2 when it could be like 3 damage. So I think I'm prone to replacing blasts with bolts in this deck, because chromatic stars and synthesizers often just don't stay too long on the field, so you can't really count on them making you giving you Metalcraft. Okay, so that is it. Thank you for watching. For the end, friendly reminder to click like, click subscribe, comment down below, and tell me your opinion. So what do you think of this version of Cori-Steel Cutter Red in comparison to, let's say, Proves or the VV versions or whatever? I think in this I think in the current meta, this mono red Bushwacker cutter version could be, it is more explosive than a Proves. It could be like maybe even better. It goes wide instead of going all in on your bird or a big Proves creature. So like a Fatal Push is much worse against this deck, and it depends. If a lot of people play Pyroclasm, then the Proves will be like better to play with Cori-Steel Cutter. But if more people play cards like Fatal Push or a Lightning Bolt, then this could potentially be a superior strategy at the moment, because it beats Eldrazi decks as good as Proves, maybe even better. It beats all those slow decks very efficiently. It has like a random artifact hate in the main deck with Gleeful Demolition. That is very relevant. And it's just a good deck. It uses all the best mono red cards in the format, and thanks to the synthesizer and chromatic star and Cori-Steel Cutter plus DRC, now it also has a decent mid game, sometimes even a good late game. Okay, so as I said, I liked this sideboard at the moment, but I would remove the Shrapnel Blast from the sideboard, maybe 4th Gravedigger's Cage to add like a couple of Torment Scripts or Soulguide Lanterns maybe. Soulguide Lantern would be maybe my choice at the moment as a card you can bring in when playing against Flage. It's just very good against Flage, removes the Flage, then you can sacrifice it to draw a card or just Kuldolta Rebirth it. I really like that. Okay, so that's all for today. Thank you for watching once again and goodbye.